YouTube, welcome back to my channel, Rolling Through Life with TaLisha. If this is your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you can be notified of new episodes that come out each and every week. Today's episode, we're going to have a little bit of fun. You're going to get to know a little bit more about me, and we are going to play Never Have I Ever. So for those of you that know about the game, you know that you usually play with other people. But because this show is called Rolling Through Life with TaLisha, I figured why not? I can do it by myself. And a twist about this game is it's going to be the disability edition. So all the questions that I'm going to answer is going to be disability related, since this is a disability channel. So like I said, you guys will get to know a little bit more about me, and let's have some fun. You'll get to figure out if I have ever. The rules of the game are simple. I'm going to answer a series of questions, and if I have done whatever the question asks, I'm going to hold up this sign, I have. And if I have not, I'm going to hold up this sign, I have not. So let's get started. Never have I thought I would do something I would never do. I would have to say I definitely have thought that. For instance, the obvious is that I never thought I would be a twin mom, that's for sure. But I definitely wouldn't trade it for the world. I never thought that I would be an author, and I'm so excited about that. For those of you that don't know already, I just came out with a book titled Rolling Through Life with Mommy. I will link those links in the description box. I never thought, like I said, I never thought I'd be an author. Oh, and the other obvious is that I never thought I would be a YouTuber. I'm having so much fun making these videos for you guys, and I'm so glad that I started, despite, the apprehension that I've had prior to starting the channel. I'm so glad that I did. So yes, I definitely have thought that I would never do something I would never do. I have definitely been trapped in an elevator before. I unfortunately have experienced this more than one time, because in high school, the school was actually 2 floors, so I would have to catch the elevator in between classes and throughout the day. And on this one particular time, I was trapped in an elevator with one of my best friends. And we were actually in the elevator with one of our aides that was claustrophobic. So the experience was a little odd, and she was freaking out the whole time. The whole experience lasted about, I would say, maybe 5 minutes. I was calm because, like I said, unfortunately, it's happened to me more than once. So I'm pretty much used to it by now. And I think it's safe to say that getting trapped in an elevator is every disabled person's worst nightmare. I actually have not ever been dropped or fallen. Knock on wood. I know this isn't wood, but not to jinx myself. So yeah, I've never been dropped. I've never fallen. Thank God, and I hope for it to stay that way. I actually have not ever had a crush on a caregiver. All of my caregivers have been female, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I have actually gone without eating for medical purposes. And the reason for that is because from the time that I was about 3 months old So all the way up until about 10 years old or 11 years old, I was actually NPO, which is a medical term that basically means I can't have nothing by mouth. So I had to have a feeding tube, and it was due to failure to thrive. So I would aspirate and I couldn't swallow my food properly. So because of that, I was not able to eat or drink anything by mouth. Thankfully, that is no longer the case, and I have, been able to improve my health, and now I no longer have the feeding tube, and I can eat and drink anything that I want. Thank goodness. So I have actually slept in my wheelchair, and I'm not talking about naps. I've, slept actual hours in my wheelchair. And one particular time that I can think of is in high school. I did the Baby Think It Over program, and that pretty much is a program where you get to take home a fake baby. It's like a baby simulation. The baby cries. It requires changing, feeding, and things like that. So I did this program for the weekend. And guys, let me tell you, it was the most trying weekend of my life. I actually contemplated dropping the baby off at school on like a Saturday and just leaving the baby. It was the roughest weekend I've ever had. So I actually had to sleep in my wheelchair when I did that, because my parents literally told me, I'm not going to sit you up every time the baby cries. So I guess now looking back on it, it was tough love. And to combat this issue, to, be able to take care of the baby, I had to sleep in my wheelchair. Thank goodness my wheelchair is able to recline, because if not, it would have been a rough night. I mean, it was a rough night, a rough few nights nonetheless, but my parents did tell me they were proud of me at the end. So that's a distinct moment that I would never forget, that I was forced to sleep in my wheelchair. So in terms of dating someone else with a disability, I actually have not ever dated someone with a disability. That, to be honest with you guys, I actually forget a lot of the times that I'm disabled. So I've never, when I've dated prior to marriage, obviously, I've never actually purposely, looked for someone else with a disability or who is in a wheelchair, like myself. And I guess that just sort of goes with having preferences. But I am interested if you guys have ever or are currently dating someone with a disability and you have a disability. So comment below if you have. So we're being honest here. I actually have used my disability as an excuse to get out of something. It doesn't happen often, but a time that I can distinctly remember was in my zoology class in high school. We had to dissect frogs, and I probably could have done it if I wanted to, but because I didn't want to, I quickly became weaker and unable to do it. I used my disability to the fullest extent. Like I said, I can't handle the scalpel. I'm not able to cut it. I can't touch it. I'm allergic. I just went above and beyond to explain to the teacher as to why I couldn't do it. I know it was unfair to my lab partner at the time. Sorry if you're watching this. But yeah, that's definitely a time that I have used my disability to get out of doing something. Guilty as charged. I have actually ran over someone's foot on purpose. Again, this also does not happen often, but it's never strangers. But my brother is unfortunately a victim of this multiple times. This is, I guess it was my version of sibling rivalry, but we would always get in arguments and I would run over his foot. However, when it does happen on accident, I feel really, really bad. So I have actually dropped my phone when I was alone. Thankfully, though, each time I've done it, ironically, I was already on the phone with someone. And so I was able to talk to them to help me get myself help while the phone was on the ground. And this used to happen a lot, actually, in college. Because I don't know if you've ever lived in the dorms, but the door locks when you close it automatically behind you. And this specific time, I had aides that came in from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So this particular time, my aide was trying to get in, and she was knocking on the window to, get my attention. But I was on the phone with a friend, and I had to direct that friend to call campus safety for me to help me, so they could help me get my keys that had fell on the floor, and also my phone. So my keys and my phone were both on the floor. That was a lot. But thankfully, when it has happened, I was already on the phone with someone, so I was able to get help. Comment below if that has happened to you. I know I can't be the only one. So I have actually allowed people, those close to me, to reap the benefits of me being disabled. When I was a child, I went to Disney World, and as you all know, when you're disabled, you have the ability to butt in front of the lines. So my family would force me to get on roller coasters that I didn't want to get on so that we could all get in the front of the line. And I'm not a roller coaster person at all, but they turned me into a roller coaster person because I went on so many. And another time that I allowed someone to reap the benefits of me being disabled is at the DMV when my husband renews his license. I get like a special ticket at the DMV, which allows me to go to a particular booth, which is ADA compliant. And so no matter how crowded the DMV is, and as you all know, it gets crowded really fast, but no matter how crowded it is, I'm able to basically spend a fraction of the time there as other people do, due to this advantage of being disabled. So I actually have wished that I could walk. It doesn't happen a lot. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It only happens at times where I really, really, really have to use the bathroom and no one's around, because holding it is not fun at all. But other than that, I was born this way, and I have really embraced what it means to be disabled, what it means to have muscular dystrophy. It's, a part of who I am. It doesn't define who I am, but it's a part of who I am. So I don't really wish a lot of the times that I can walk. The only times that I do wish for that is during times where I'm inconvenienced severely, such as when I really have to use the bathroom. But I'm sure even those of you that can walk can relate to that, because it's not fun at all. That's it, guys, for the have and have-nots. I hope you enjoyed this episode and me sharing my experiences and going down memory lane with you guys. I definitely did enjoy it, I must say. And if you have anything to comment whether it be the stories that I shared or something that you even want to share, the input that you would like to include in the episode, let me know. I definitely look forward to reading the comments for this episode. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And also, for those of you who have not yet watched last week's episode, please do check that out. I talk about a book that I just released called Through Life With Mommy. It's a children's book based on my children and I. I will link it in the description for those of you that haven't yet seen it. But thank you so much, guys, for the support that I've been receiving. I really, really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Until next time.